I know that you come from the foster system. I know you've been incarcerated.
Yeah.
So you've got a colorful history. But you're an entrepreneur now. You're making things happen.
Yeah.
You've got people who respect you. I mean, there are people who've been in the system can't get jobs.
Yeah.
But you're getting some of the biggest name companies in Virginia to sponsor your event. So there's a drive there that's causing you to be successful here. And I believe that there's something about your past that has led us here. I don't know that you know the answer to that, but I want to tease it out.
Well, there's a couple of things, man. I mean, I want to first start with like my mother, even though, we got placed in foster care, she has always been my biggest fan, like hands down. If I said when I went to play soccer and I got a scholarship to VCU, my son's the best soccer player in the world. When I got sick and lost my scholarship and I was like, I had this big void in my life and I wanted to become a musician, my son's the best rapper in the world. And it's just, I don't know if it's blind faith, ignorance, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when I first started rapping, I was horrible, you know what I'm saying? But having somebody like that you, even if she doesn't understand, she's just like in your corner and she's like, go do it. I think that's a big part of it, because I think people assume that like when you're in foster care, you just lose all touch with your family and stuff like that. My mom had a very tough, deal of the cards, you know what I'm saying? But through all of it, like I said, she was just so supportive.
Welcome to America's Healthiest City. I am your host, Will Melton. Today we have Will Keck from TheMSQShop and Center and a lot of other things. We'll talk about that. But before we get into it, I just want to remind you folks that americashealthiestcity.com is the site to visit if you want to learn more about what we're doing. We have an ideas board where you can go submit your ideas on how we make Richmond and the Richmond region healthiest in America in 10 years by 2033. Check out the ideas, leave your comments, add your ideas. And if you represent a business, a nonprofit, a government agency, or an academic institution, and you want to join the cause, please take a look at becoming an ambassador. There's absolutely no cost to you. The only thing that we ask is that you put your decisions through the filter, which asks, how will this strategic decision make our community healthier? So without further ado, Will, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
I won't have any problem forgetting your name.
Yes.
So you're an entrepreneur. You are a rapper, a producer, an event organizer. What else did I miss?
I don't rap anymore, but I was a rapper for like 17 years. I'm a creative director now. But yeah, when you're in this creative space, you kind of wear a lot of hats, so graphic designer, shoot music videos, commercials. I specialize in creative direction and branding for indie musicians, small brands. So like I said, just kind of wear a bunch of hats. So yeah.
Are you an OG Richmonder, or did you move here somewhere?
Oh no, born and raised, man.
Born and raised.
Yeah,
okay.
Born and raised.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever leave and move back, or you been here the whole time?
I've been here the whole time, man. It's just been, I've had opportunities too, and it's just, I think that we have shared similar missions with that, as far as like, I see something here and I'm dedicated to like making something happen here, and then maybe taking that other places. You know what I'm saying? So I'm totally dedicated to Richmond and Virginia as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So this is my home, and I think it's very underrated. I think people, get caught in the lights of the big cities, New York, Atlanta, LA, but I mean, you get everything here, man. You get the cities, you get the mountains, you get the oceans, you get the, the wilderness. So I can't see myself like being anywhere too far away from here, because I love it, man. I love it. Yeah.
So you and I go back a little bit, not too long, but about 6 weeks ago, you reached out to me and said, I'm doing this thing. You want to be a sponsor? And you sent me a poster for something Indie Water.
Yeah.
And it had absolutely no sponsors on it. It had no show, no acts booked, nothing. And you said, you want to sponsor this? And I said in my head, are you going to be able to pull this off?
Yeah.
And I'm not the only person who thought that.
Oh, no.
But now we are 2 weeks away from something Indie Water. And
Yeah.
you've got 50 acts booked.
Yep.
And you had 1,000 submissions.
Yeah, over 1,000.
Over 1,000 submissions. And you guys are going to be set up outside of something in the water.
Yeah.
for the festival at the same time. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. That's the big news that everybody needs to hear about.
Yeah.
It's not Richmond, but everybody's going to be able to listen to Richmond in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us what that's about?
So I've had this idea for like 3 years. It's something I've been working on for literally 3 years since 2020, before they shut down everything for the pandemic. I'm very big on indie, not local. So a lot of times people get roped into this conversation because they see them near them and they're like, "Oh, that's a local artist." I hate that word, and I try to preach indie because it's about taking control of your own destiny. So one of the things that I've learned in particular, with Startup Virginia or just becoming an entrepreneur is like look for pain points in the industry. When something in the water came here the first time, one of the biggest things that people were, I don't want to say upset, but vocalizing was that there was not enough representation of Virginia at something in the water. And Robbie Wells, the executive producer, he's addressed some of this stuff, but I took initiative and I said, hey, I'll take that responsibility of displaying Virginia talent. And like you said, it was we waited because we were having discussions with something in the water, and they were kind of taking too long for us, and we were like, all right, well, it's time for us to take initiative, and we're going to do this. So my biggest goal is just to display the people that I see every day working really hard and making moves, even if they don't always go notice, or if they go unnoticed. I'm watching these people, I'm working with these guys, and I see the type of effort and energy they put into the art and craft. So we want to be the guys to take that responsibility and make it happen, and I love the idea of like, I don't want anything. I'm not asking for anything. There's a platform that Pharrell built with something in the water. There's going to be 60,000 people down at Virginia Beach during these 3 days, and he facilitated the opportunity. And in a positive way, we took advantage of that and put Virginia talent at the forefront. And something I'm very proud of. You know what I'm saying? Something I has definitely been a grind. It hasn't been easy. I didn't get every single person on there that I would want, but
How many times have you been to Virginia Beach since 6 weeks ago?
every week. Every week. Yeah, I'm there every single week. Yeah, at least once. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I'll be down there again next week a couple times even before the festival, because there's pre-festival events and panels and stuff like that that I want to attend and promote and just connect with people and stuff like that. So we're down there a lot, you know what I'm saying? And the good thing, and one of the biggest things we do with the music shop is we collaborate. So I have teammates that are actually down in Virginia Beach. They live there. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like me just going in blind, coming from Richmond and saying, hey, we're going to do this. That Virginia doesn't like that. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some type of relation to the community, and that's what we did. So when we partner with some of these guys like Intellect from Slight Sense and Virginia VA Natural Gas and Frequency and Norfolk Prevention Coalition, these are guys who are in the community in Virginia Beach in the 757 area every day working, and it was an honor for them to like trust me enough to lead this this expedition, and then even more like that the way that the community has responded. I mean, I can't tell you how many DMs and messages I get from even artists that didn't make the cut. They're like, I'm going to be there anyway because we need this, and I hope that I'm there next year. And that's the part that makes me the happiest. Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to something in the water in a minute, and I do want to see if we can talk a little bit about Music Shop and Center. But before we do that, I want to talk about your background because I think there's an interesting story there.
Yeah.
Before we do, you're listening to America's Healthiest City. I'm your host, Will Melton. Today we're talking to Will Keck. He is organizing something indie water in Virginia Beach in 2 weeks. The dates are
April 28th through the 30th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people talk a big game. People have ideas all the time. Not often that somebody comes up with an idea and they turn it into something in 6 weeks' time. And so that's a unique skill that you've got. It's not the first time you've done something like this. I'm sure it's maybe the fastest you've done it. But I want to know more about people like you and why. Why did you do it? How did you get there? I believe, and based on some folks that we know, we have a similar background, and
Yeah.
that our childhoods weren't the
No.
easiest. What do you think about your upbringing and all of that? How did that lead you to be the person you are today?
So if you're, is there anything in particular from my background that you're referring
Well, I
to?
mean, we could talk about all of it, and I don't want to put you on
Yeah,
the
no,
spot or make you
let's talk
feel
about it.
so. Like, I
Let's
know
talk
that
about it.
you come from the foster system. I know
Yeah.
you've been incarcerated.
Yeah. I'm a
So
felon.
you've got a colorful
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
But you're an entrepreneur now. You're
Yeah.
making things happen.
Yeah.
You've got people who respect you. I mean, there are people who've been in the system can't get jobs.
Yeah.
But you're getting some of the biggest name companies in Virginia to sponsor your event. So
Yeah.
there's a drive there that's causing you to be successful here, and I believe that there's something about your past that has led us here. I don't know that you know the answer to that, but I want to tease it out.
Well, there's a couple of things, man. I mean, I want to first start with like my mother, even though, we got placed in foster care, she has always been my biggest fan, like hands down. If I said when I went to play soccer and I got a scholarship to VCU, my son's the best soccer player in the world. When I got sick and lost my scholarship and I was like, I had this big void in my life and I wanted to become a musician, my son's the best rapper in the world. And it's just, I don't know if it's blind faith, ignorance, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when I first started rapping, I was horrible, you know what I'm saying? But having somebody like that you, even if she doesn't understand, she's just like in your corner and she's like, go do it. I think that's a big part of it, because I think people assume that like when you're in foster care, you just lose all touch with your family and stuff like that. My mom had a very tough, you know, uh, deal of the cards, you know what I'm saying? And but through all of it, like I said, she was just so supportive. And then, yeah, man, I mean, I'm gonna be real. When you're in foster care and people are making decisions about your life and they're talking about, you're going to live here, you got to leave your family's house, you're the only boy, so you're going to go live on your own. You don't feel like you have a choice. You don't feel like you have a voice. You don't feel like you're being heard, or like, even though in their minds it's the best thing for you, it doesn't always feel like that. So it took me a long time to process that. Like when you're going through it, you definitely aren't processing it. You're just like day to day trying to figure out how to live, how to survive. And when I got to this artistic part of my like where I was diving into the arts, I wanted to express myself and I wanted to be able to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be through music or through art, like graphic design or the videos or collaborating with other people. I felt the need that I wanted to be heard, but more importantly, what I learned is like, I actually want everybody to be heard, you know what I'm saying? And be felt and have a space where they can, you know, create their own worlds, like to create their own truths. And that's kind of like my passion behind it now. You know what I'm saying? At first it was definitely about me, being a musician and doing my thing. But as you grow in that field and people start like, hey man, you've been doing this so well, I want you to do it for me. And that sharing that experience with them led me to like a bigger path and wanting to provide that opportunity to others, because I knew how important it was for myself and my growth and my healing. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big, those are, I would say, some of the biggest motivations, and the fact that, like you said, there are people that believe in me. A lot of people get caught up on the people that don't believe in them. I got to prove my haters wrong. I got to prove you, wrong. I don't subscribe to that. I don't care if you don't support what I do, because there's people that do. And I'm going to focus all my attention on them, because those are the people that help you elevate. Those are the people that take you to the next level. And that's always been my biggest drive, is that I do feel love. I do feel support. Even I have moments where it's all crazy and I'm like, man, F this. I don't want anything to do with this. I'm about to quit. There's definitely moments like that. But what brings me back is like those people that have, just faith in me and hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister, Chantel, her name is Prop. Everybody calls her Prop. She'll hold me accountable. Even when I'm, I feel like I'm right. She's like, nah, man, you're wrong about this one. And we can have those conversations and still remain friends. And I'm just blessed that I have people like that in my life. You know what I'm saying?
So when I met you, you introduced yourself as Will. You gave me a business card that said OG Illa. I connected with you on Instagram, you're OG Illa.
Yeah.
And now you say, I used to be a rapper.
Yeah.
You're not a rapper anymore. I've heard you on some podcasts talk about this and talk about the space that you're creating for other artists. And I want to talk about that very, very specifically and why you do it and what other people get out of it. Because I believe that our world is suffering from a mental health crisis. And I believe that courageous creativity, self-expression, creative expression is the thing that shows people how to live a life. Tell me about the experience of helping other artists create, helping indie artists create. What does that do for them? And how do you see that unfolding? I think there's been a lot of development in the rap space in Richmond, in Virginia.
So when I first started rapping, when I first started making music, there was like one spot that allowed rap shows. It was called Nara Sushi. It was on Main Street. And it was guys like Octavian and Kane McCoy and Radio and those type of guys who like opened those doors, like kind of really kicked down the doors almost literally and was like, nah, man, we're going to do this. And since then, there's been a progression of spaces that allow you to, be a guest there, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But there's no place that I felt was a space for us as creatives that was safe, a safe space. And I feel like that limits you. When you're creative and you feel safe, you can be vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, you make your best art. And that is what my goal is with Center and the Music Shop, is to create these safe spaces to get the best out of people. You know what I'm saying? And Richmond as a whole hasn't been very supportive of hip hop in general, even though it fuels the economy. And I quite literally mean that. I mean, you go to clubs, they're playing hip hop. You're on the radio, they're playing hip hop. Even on the pop stations, you see commercials, it's hip hop. And it's okay. They make it okay, but because it's over there, right? I don't have to deal with it.
The big money.
But I'll make money off of it, but I won't contribute to it. And that's the biggest thing about not just hip hop culture, but Black culture, where a lot of people take from Black culture, but they don't contribute to Black culture. And I didn't want to be that type of person where because I get a lot of love. I get most of my customers are Black. Most of my customers are creatives and small businesses, and I didn't want to be that guy. So I wanted to be able to provide something that was infinitely valuable both ways. And that was my whole mission. And it still is, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Richmond as a whole has gotten better. It's not like a complete ban like it used to be. It's not complete negativity, but I think it's still like, even when I'm in some of these city hall meetings and, city council meetings and, the local business owners meetings, they have a tone about it that's like, this is the problem. But, if you're going to have an issue with something that's not going to go away, the best thing isn't to just shun it. It's to embrace it and then educate people, like teach them the business, teach them what it really takes to own a venue and the risk that you're taking and how they can do it better so that y'all both can succeed, because it's not going away, and it's not something that's just a fad. I've been doing this for 17 years and it's only grown. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like to do. I like to take that responsibility, and I like to step into those situations and be a voice of the community as far as like, no, man, you're looking at this wrong. Yeah, things might happen. Things happen all the time. Hip hop, country, there's a lot of violence at country concerts, but it doesn't get the same type of negativity, right? So my goal is to kind of do my best to even those conversations, and then take it a step further and like, hey, we cannot shun this. We cannot put this off. We cannot make this a negative thing. Let's embrace it and do our part as far as like educating and helping them learn what the business part is, because when there's economic equality, then, there's endless opportunities, you know what I'm saying? And then that scale tips a little bit. So
for the folks listening, let's talk a little bit about what you do at Center and at the Music Shop, because I don't know that everybody knows that. So you've got two different things going on. Let's break it down. Let's start with Center.
So Center is I always say the Music Shop is how we create things, the conversations, the graphics, the branding, the stuff. Center is where we create things. So,
And this is on Broad Street.
Broad Street, 318 West Broad Street. We're right across from Black Iris, Common House, some familiar stomping grounds. In the front, we have retail space. All the clothing companies that sell retail out of there are Virginia owned. We have a venue and an art gallery. All the art work that you see are Virginia artists. And we have an event space that's open for anybody who needs it for events, workshops, conferences, meetings. And then we have a recording studio in the back where we work with tons of, independent musicians. And we also host tenants. So we have office space for rent. So it's kind of a multi-purpose space, and that's what I wanted. What do you want to make? Okay, let's do it. There's no limits, you know what I'm saying? So that was my biggest goal with Center is like, come here, fantasize, romanticize, whatever you gotta do, and then do it because it's here for you. And then, like I said, the music shop is just the parent company. That's like where the conversations are had, where the ideas are visual, where we visualize the ideas and we start to put the plan together so we can execute.
So talk about where you're at physically, because that is the arts district.
Yeah.
I suspect there's no accident about why you're there,
No.
but that section of Broad Street has had over the last several decades a very storied past. So talk a little bit about why you chose to be there and kind of what you've seen since you've opened up.
Well, like I said, I'm from Richmond, Henrico, Richmond, and I mean, it's just like first off, it's like a dream come true, really. You know what I'm saying? Because I always wanted a space on Broad Street, right there by VCU, right there where creative stuff was happening. But the specific reason is like, that was the space that I could get, you know what I'm saying? For real, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's not just me, man. If you look at the city, like you look at Rotate, Charged Up, The Spot, Yellow House, Chalele, these are all guys I grew up with. We started some of this stuff like almost at the same exact times, and these are other creatives, and you really see like the weight of the community coming towards and supporting these type of businesses, and for me that's important because it's not about one person, it's not about me, it's about let's do this as a mass, and then we can really change things. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people put that pressure on themselves. It has to be on me. I'm going to be the one to put on VA. It doesn't work like that. I'm a strong believer, and it has to be numbers of us to do this. And it's starting to happen. We're really starting to see things like that shift in Richmond, where these young guys are taking responsibility, becoming entrepreneurs, and changing the fabric of the community. You see like Noah, Charged Up store, bro. He's constantly doing stuff for the community, cleanups, food drives, clothes drives. I mean, what if it's a community activist? That's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And then you see it, the young guys who look up to him, and they're in the shop every day, peeping game, soaking up this knowledge, and then implementing it for themselves and doing things to further the community. And that's what I mean about leading by example, embracing instead of shunning, and showing these guys because they want to do it, even if they don't know how to. So we got to teach them, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's just a big thing for me. And it goes back to what you're saying. It's like, this is how we make the city healthier. It's not just eating good. It's not just running. It's not even just water. It's about your mental, about understanding that I do have a chance. I can succeed too. I am not my environment. I am not my situation. I'm who I want to be. I just need, a lot of times just need guidance.
Comes from community.
Yeah.
Comes from community.
Yep.
You are listening to America's Healthiest City on ESPN Richmond 106.1, part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. We are talking to Will Keck today, and we're talking about something indie water in Virginia Beach in a couple of weeks. And we're also talking about indie artists in Virginia and the space that is being created for them, thanks to Will. So let's go back to something indie water, because that's coming up. We want to get as many people down there to support your art as possible.
I'm so excited, man.
Lay it out for us. What's the schedule look like? What are you guys going to be doing? Where are you going to be?
We're going to be at FFX Theater, right on 16th and Atlantic. It's literally, the front door is right in front of the entrance to something in the water. You can't get a better location. We have 3 days of events. So Friday, we're going 11 to 5. We have vendors, sponsors, performances, food, bar, everything you need. And then Saturday, we're also doing 11 to 5. similar situation. Then Sunday, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go from 10 to 2. We got a brunch, and we got some experimental collaborative sets, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited about the whole thing, but a lot of people talk unity, talk about we need to join forces, we need to do this. So I kind of like made people do it. I'm like, I got all of our sets are collaborative. So we got Rudy Walker, Tayshawn. They're going to do a collaborative set. We got this thing called Virginia Talks Different playlist set. So we're actually doing a set of 10 different artists, kind of like a playlist. And they're going to perform 1 to 2 songs a piece. And then we have a producer cipher. So there's going to be a bunch of producers playing their production and kind of getting loose in that. And in between, we got DJs and stuff like that. So this whole experience is just to show people like, hey, we work together. We are stronger with numbers. We are a better representation of the state together. And, you know, I literally have people from Roanoke, Fredericksburg, Northern Virginia, all over 757, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Richmond, and even like Gloucester. Okay, I don't know what it is. Y'all correct me.
Okay.
We're
a long ways from
yeah, so you know it's but I'm tapped into the community. I've been watching these guys grind their tails off, and now it's time for them to get get some representation that they deserve. So it's gonna be amazing. And then more importantly, man, the conversations that are being had, the now people who maybe didn't know about this guy in Roanoke or whatever, they're meeting each other and they're enjoying each other. And then they're seeing some of the things we do, like getting on the news, things that doesn't really happen a lot. It's happening for them, and their names are getting mentioned, and you know that excitement and that pride is you know just you know it's shining out. Like everybody's really happy to be part of this, and that's you know the biggest goal. You know, so yeah, I'm really excited, man. I'm really hyped about this. So
I want to talk a little bit about independent artists and just artists in general, because you know presumably an independent artist wants to eventually make it big, right? So kind of where's the line in that? You know, what are the goals for independent artists in your view, and what's the space for independent art as opposed to that more commercialized version of music?
see, when you go, they want to expand, they want to scale just like any other business. You know, but it doesn't always, like a lot of times, especially back in the day, you had to go to a label to grow, you know, to get in these major publications, to be on the radio. That's not how the internet works now. You can do these things yourself. But it requires knowing the business, handling your paperwork. It requires having a plan. You know, a lot of people lack a plan, and then understanding who you're trying to reach, just like any other business, right? They're like, so I tell artists when we're making the music, be intentional, understand who's listening to your music. It's very easy to say, oh, this is for everybody. That's not true. Drake sold 10 million records, right? For his last album. We'll just go there, right? That's a high number, but we'll go there. There's 7 billion people in the world. That's not a fraction of the people in the world. So even the biggest artist in the world is not reaching everybody. Understand who you're trying to reach. Visualize it before you even make the song. What age they are. 18 to 24. Are they female or male? Are they black, white, Indian, Asian? Where are they going to listen to the music? Is it going to be in the car? Is it going to be in the club? Is it going to be in their crib? Is it going to be while they're running? You know, and then you'll understand who and where to reach. And that's big on it, because like I said, people ignore these things because they just want to make stuff. But and there's a big difference between making music and being in the music industry and being in music business. And that's the biggest thing that I want that you have to establish if you're going to be an independent artist, is that you're in a music business now. You're in a business now. You're gonna have to run it like a business now. You know what I'm saying? And it apply the same. I tell everybody, you have to color in the lines, but they can't tell you how to color it or what to color it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing that I try to press upon them. It's like, if you're gonna be this, you have to do these things just like any other business. It's the rules, it's the way, and it's a good measure of success.
Yeah.
It's a good way to, you know, if you can find 1,000 fans a month that'll pay you $100, you can make $10,000 a month, right? or sorry, $10 a month. My bad. I don't even know if the math's right. My bad. I'm just excited.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So if you make $10,000 a month for 12 months, you made $120,000 a year. That's a good income, and people look at it, they want to be Kanye. They want to be this, they want to be that. But then you see some of these problems that they have, and you don't always want that to become your issue. You want to have creative control. You want to have, first you want to make a living, and then you want to be able to do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? And not, and even if you do end up going to a label, you go to them as a partner. You're not going as a handout. Hey, give me this.
Already.
Yeah. You go up there and say, hey, these are my analytics. I'm streaming this much a month. I'm selling this much a month. My merch sells this much. My website gets this many hits, go down the list. And then they can't approach you as somebody who's unacknowledgeable or take advantage of you. They're going to have to approach you as a business partner. And then the conversation changes, the dynamic shifts. And that's the difference between indie and local. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or making music or being in the music business. So that's one of the biggest things we try to press upon people. Yeah.
Well, now that you've given us a masterclass in business, I think all of that can be applied to any industry.
Exactly.
I mean, truly, I mean, you did it in an elevator pitch, but tell us a little bit about what your plans for the future are. What's Will Keck got cooking for next year? And
we want to expand upon this so that the energy behind it does not die. This collaborative, this unity does not die. So we were coming up with other ideas to keep something indie water and that presence alive all year round, because we're going to do this every year now. This is a thing. This is going to be annual. This is something the city or the state wants, and we're going to give it to them. So, but we don't want it to be like, hey, something indie water, boom, dies off. Then we got to pick it back up. No, this is something that we can keep around all the time and build upon. And that's my biggest goal. And then another thing is I always say, I want to make music. I want to make memories. Sometimes people don't understand the importance of memories because you can't take it with you, right? You can't, like, you buy that jacket, you get to take that with you, get to wear it, Memories kind of live with you, they're in you. But those are the biggest things that you have. I mean, think about your childhood, think about, when you got married or whatever, or when you heard a good song, of where you were, when you experienced how it made you feel. Those are the biggest things to me. So this is just one of those things. We're making music and memories at these things. And I want to keep doing that and just keep boom, 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 and just stay on their heads constantly about it, because it's, to me, that's my passion. So yeah.
Well, I can tell that you're passionate about it.
Yeah. Sorry if I talked your head off.
No, that's what you're here for. So let's do this. Why don't you remind folks when something indie water is, where it is, and we'll start there. And I got one more.
All right, cool. So something indie water is in Virginia Beach, April 28th through the 30th. It's going to be taking place at FFX Theater. That's Family Fun Experience Theater on 16th and Atlantic. 16th and Atlantic, right there on the strip. If you need any information, you can find us everywhere at TheMSQShop. That's TheMSQShop. MSQ means music. So just to clear that up if you see it. Yeah.
All right. So the last thing, you're a mover and a shaker. You're out there. You told everybody where to find you.
Yeah.
Who are you looking to connect with? Who do you need help from right now?
That's a great question, because I'm looking for mentors. I'm looking for people who want to invest in the same vision that I have. I'm looking for people who want to invest in artists, and creatives. And I'm looking for people who share the same mindset as me and want to act upon it. So those are the people that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? And that does vary. That's a wide range, but I have an open door policy. You can come in and talk. We might not always see eye to eye, might not end up doing anything, but I have an open door policy. Let's talk, because the conversations we've had, open up your mind, and it can take you to places. You know what I'm saying? So biggest thing is people who share the same mind and want to act on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
Well, Will Keck, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, man.
This is America's Healthiest City on ESPN Richmond 106.1. Visit americashealthiestcity.com. Consider becoming an ambassador. Leave your ideas, leave your comments, and work with us to make Richmond, the region, the healthiest in America by 2033.
Let's do it.